Hey everyone, Miss Ashley here. I want to show you some fine motor activities you can do at home with your child. These are just some samples and some ideas. Look around for things that you have at home that you can try. I don't know what kind of toys everybody has, but these are some things that I found. Some are homemade and some are just toys that my child has that are great ideas for bilateral hand skills. So let's check it out. So right now, Easter's coming up, so a really good one is just grab some Easter eggs that you might have at home and have your child working on holding it with two hands and pulling it apart. The pulling apart is going to be easier than the putting together, so start with that, and then if they're good at that, you can have them work on pushing it together. So pulling and pushing an Easter egg, and then you can even put something fun in there for them to play with. A piece of candy maybe, so that's a good one. And then another pulling and pushing one is if you have snap beads at home. These are a great activity for bilateral hand skills too. Again, working on the pulling and the pushing. The pushing does tend to be harder, but start with the pulling and just keep working on that until that one gets better, and then you can get to the pushing. So if you don't have any great toys at home, I just found a container that was empty from my cabinet, and they can work on opening and closing the lid. It's another good bilateral hand skill. They're holding it with one and pushing and opening with the other, and then you can put some things in there. This one I put Q-tips, and you can have them work on putting in the Q-tips. So that's another good one. And then I have another one of these containers here, and this one, same thing, opening and closing, but this one I put cotton balls in so they can take them out, or they can put them in. A lot of our friends like to take out before they put in, so start with that. That's totally fine. Another one that a lot of you may have at home is a simple ring stacker. Have them take them off before they take them on. A lot of our kids love to take off first. They can usually do that one independently, and then after that have them work on putting on. Doesn't matter what order. So that's a good one. Cars, if you have any cars at home, just rolling the car back and forth is a great skill. You can also get turn taking in there by rolling it back and forth from one person to the other. If you have some plastic cups at home, you can have them work on taking them off. See, so we're just working on using our hands to do something functional, and then you could have them stack them back on top. If you have any instruments at home, play a song and have them practice holding and shaking it to a song. This is just a container of milk chocolate covered almonds I had in my cabinet when we finished it, and it's great to work on screwing the lid back on, and then also I put some balls in it, and taking them out is great, and then of course having them put them back in is another great one, and then helping them put the lid back on. If you have Legos at home, Legos are great for bilateral hand use. Start with the simple of actually probably just taking it out of the container and then pulling or pushing together, even putting on just like that, and then taking apart and putting back in the container. Even just a simple board book is a great activity for your child to work on, opening the pages, and then at the same time they're getting some literacy by you reading to them, but have them be the one to flip the pages. If you have any balls at home, great for holding with two hands. Start with that, just getting them to hold it or put it on the floor and have them bend down and pick it up. And then if you have another sibling they can play with, they can roll it back and forth with them or throw it. If you're past that, start kicking it. Play-Doh is great too. For starters, you can just practice opening and closing the lid. And then a lot of our friends just like to start by pulling it apart, and that's totally fine. That's two hands together, which similarly you can get a piece of paper and have them practice ripping the paper. So just pulling it is great too, and then you could take their hands and help them make it into a ball. You can do all sorts of fun stuff with Play-Doh. And then I have one more activity for you guys. I found an empty tissue box, and then I filled it with scarves. And we have this one at school too, so the kids already know how to do it, where you just take them out, pull them out, and as you pull them out, you can say red, yellow, orange, and then you can have them put them back in and work on pushing. So if you can find an empty tissue box and something that they can work on taking in and out, you can even put balls in there too. So there's all sorts of different activities you can do for your child for fine motor at home. Try to be creative, and just try to sit down with them for 10 minutes a day and work on those hand skills. All right, bye guys.